Almost there. One more setting. And one more piece of the unique is operational.
One down, 1 million to go. Speaking of which, boss, I found exactly none of the parts you wanted. A whole day at the junk pile, and all I turn up are a locker and some stupid conduits. Maybe next time. Boss, are you sure you got those settings right?
That came from down in engineering. Let's go. There's no time for that.
Boss?
Crispin, get behind me. Who are you and what do you want?
Power.
I think he wants the power core, boss.
Stop right there. This ship belongs to me.
Forfeit. Enemy. Plunder.
I don't think he's too keen on private property.
Get away from the power core.
Forfeit.
Boss? Boss? Horatio? Come on, Horatio, wake up!
Oh.
Whew, you're okay.
What happened?
Well, Big Ugly threw you out of the ship. And then he said plunder. Again. And then he left with our power core.
Basad.
Yep.
How much charge have you got?
10%. You?
I'll be fine. We just need to get the emergency generator up and running. I told you it needed to be repaired.
Or we could just go to Metropole, city of glass and light. Free energy for one and all.
Don't believe everything you hear. Metropole is trouble. But if you want to go, you've got free will and a maglev unit.
With that guilt subroutine you put in me, I wouldn't even make it halfway.
Actually, with a 10% charge, you wouldn't even get that far. So I suggest we get the generator working.
You and your projects.
Man built us to build, Crispin. Now, come on. I must have dropped my data pouch when I was thrown out of the unique. Assad, its memory got wiped. Easy enough to add the good old junk pile's coordinates back in, though.
Now, I'm not a fancy engineer like you, boss, but it seems like the unique isn't gonna fly without its tail on. Is that a gumball machine?
No, it's a robot's head.
Ah, I wanted a gumball. I wanted a gumball.
It's one of the unique's turbines.
The big engine that couldn't.
I can't move this without some kind of crane, which I certainly don't have time to build now. broken robot I dragged out of the junk pile. I salvaged the sarcasm coprocessor from it for Crispin.
Yeah, it works great.
Nothing worth salvaging. It's a segment of Gordium electrical conduit. Some very sticky grease. I can't just scoop it up. Blasted leaking gasket.
Is it blasted or leaking?
A sturdy cable. It's not going to do anything until the generator's fixed. There's supposed to be a power-bearing conduit between this socket and the ship, but I never got around to putting one together.
Now who's the procrastinator?
Crispin, when I told you to find a new spark plug, did you just shove my conductive putty into the old one?
Maybe.
No wonder the generator isn't working. At least the putty is still good. The generator is missing a spark plug. I'll need at least 5 pieces to be able to build a conduit long enough to run the generator to the unique.
If that red light went off, I bet the train would start going.
Crispin, sometimes I think you're trying to get me to waste time.
Who, me? Boss, just think of all the brothers and sisters you could make for me from all that junk.
One of you is more than enough.
How do you think a train wound up out here, boss?
Maybe they brought it here by boat.
Very funny.
There's nothing worth bothering with. Looks like some kind of lockbox. It's locked tight. It's 3 pieces of Gordium conduit. Unfortunately, one of them is completely corroded and worthless.
You know, boss, if you're ever wondering what I would do, feel free to just ask.
I'll keep that in mind. Crispin Horatio build, version 1. There'll be version 2 once I put some arms on him. He is my best and only friend. There's a piece of Gordium conduit way back there. Crispin, can you go in there and get that piece of conduit?
I suppose. That would have been a lot easier with hands, boss.
Looks like an old P2, or is it a P3? Endless junk. It won't work until they're locked together. It's a data cable, not a power cable. There's no way I can reach that. Could you grab that lantern?
Sure thing, boss.
You know, I always wanted to be able to fly. That's why I built you with a maglev unit.
Not so that you could store tools on hard-to-reach ledges?
Well, that too.
Strange clouds, huh, boss?
An old captain's chair. I moved it here from navigation. A large observational telescope. Without power from the ship, the telescope won't work.
Bad timing with those repairs, huh, boss?
It's too dark to see the ladder rungs. Good thing there's still some power in the circuit.
Boss, shouldn't you have thought of that before coming down here? We could have been stuck.
I could have just ridden you back to the deck.
Really?
No. Routing that much power to your maglev unit would cause it to explode.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. I couldn't find a working fuse to solve the problem.
I'm a floating bomb. I'm a floating bomb. Sweet.
I don't need to bring these with me.
After all, boss, life is stranger than fiction.
It couldn't hurt to bring the gospel of man with us.
Going to pray for a miracle, boss?
We are man's miracle, Crispin. Let's hope that's enough.
So that's where you keep it.
Why were you looking for my plasma torch?
No reason. Ooh, spooky. That piece of sheet metal really ties the room together, boss.
I can't pick that up. Time for a little welding.
Wow, that was easier than I thought it would be.
The controls for this hatch are unresponsive.